all yours.
Hi, I'm Brittany, and I'm a rising senior at Charter High School. My project is a wireless, GPS trackable object. My first intention was for it to be a bracelet for a child so that your kid couldn't get lost. It can also be used to track any valuable device or really anything that you can attach it to. The reason I chose this was because I wanted to build something in everyday life. Which is our location right now. If you can actually just highlight it and copy it into Google Maps, and it'll give you the exact, it'll pinpoint the exact location. If you press the send location button, it will actually send the location of the web server to the little particle electron here, which will then calculate the distance between the GPS coordinates and the server's, the client's coordinates. And if it's a far enough distance away, it will vibrate this motor. But there's also a way to manually vibrate the motor, which you probably can't see from there because it's so tiny, but right here the motor does vibrate for 1 second when you press the button. The way it works though is when you press the send location button, the client will send a GET request to the particle, which has code uploaded on it. And that will then do all the calculations that it needs to do and send information back to the client if it needs to, like the GPS coordinates. The biggest problem I had while working on this was actually getting the GPS to work, because it only works when it has a clear view of the sky, or that's how it has to connect. And so every time I made a change to my code, I would have to go all the way downstairs, outside, and then come back if there was a problem. So that's why I built this, have this piece of cardboard with it attached so I could just suspend it out the window so I could keep working. At one point I was working with a different GPS model that can work inside, but the antenna actually broke off while I was, packing up. And so I have to go back to the old one that only works outside. So in the future I'm going to go back to the new one. Another issue I had was actually getting the whole communication between the web client and the particle, because I've never done anything like it before. And so while I have some background in computer coding, I don't have any background in the scripts I was using or trying to communicate wirelessly. And I really think that this project has expanded my computer coding abilities, because before I was just writing simple, straightforward labs and doing small functions on the computer. This really forced me to work with different languages that I never used and focus on thinking for myself versus just following some steps to get to a certain point. And I definitely want to pursue something where I have to think more for myself in the future, which this coding has shown me.
Do you have any questions for Brittany?
Hi.
How did you come up with such beautiful and elegant cardboard?
Because I needed the nice solution.
And also, what was the most challenging part about this?
Honestly, the most challenging part was getting the communications to run smoothly. I had absolutely no idea where to start with it, so once I did, it kind of got rolling a little bit and it got easier, but it was a rough start for that. Yes.
Can you talk about the little board you're using and the applications it could have for a future improvement of this project?
This?
Yeah.
Right. So this is a particle electron. It runs like the Raspberry Pi does, where you can upload some code to it, but it also has wireless GSM capabilities. So it runs on the same network like your cell phones will run on, and since it can communicate wirelessly, it does, as Neil said when he was introducing it, it can run throughout the world. And I don't know, what else do you
how would you use it for the bracelet phone idea you had going before?
Right, so that would be inside the bracelet with the GPS, and whenever you wanted to find its location, you'd be able to pull it up anywhere.
is how long did it take you to make the? For someone to make this, you need a creative mind. So if you're just thinking about doing what you did, it's gonna take a long time to make.
Right. Well, the actual physical building didn't take very long, but it did take a while to get everything working. It's yeah, it did take a long time. It was a very creative process, and it took me the whole 5 weeks. I just finished what I need to do today, so.
All right, thanks, Brittany.